3, do you think about me? 4, 5, 6, let me ask you this. 1, 2, 3, do you think about me? 4, 5, 6, let me ask you this. 1, 2, 3, do you think about me? 4, 5, 6, do you even see? 1, 2, 3, I'm right there. 1, 2, 3, do you think about me? 1, 2, 3, do you think about me? 1, 2, 3, do you think about me?
Who the hell can wait till morning? Talk now at latenightsportsradio.com.
I got caught cold right there because during that song, I neglected to set up a rejoin coming out of that break. So that's why I just started talking. I got caught cold right there. This has been an off week. I'm just telling you. I got to go. I need a radio exorcism. I don't know how that's done, but I need that done. I need to start over.
Keith, I think you need a spa day. Maybe a mani-pedi.
Seriously, this has been draining this week. I don't know why.
Actually, you get the mani-pedi and they massage your legs and stuff. I mean, it's nice.
I'm not going to go there. The San Francisco 49ers travel to the New York Giants. The 49ers winning a very tight game in overtime there against division rival New Orleans. In the New York, it's not a division rival. See, do you know what? I'm just talking out my tuchus right now. Against the Saints, 27-24, and the Giants, 3-6, who we thought for a stretch were going to come back to form, and then they have fallen back on some old habits. The Seahawks looked like they were going to struggle against them last Sunday. Giants started out strong and then just ran out of gas, and the Seahawks blew it away in the fourth quarter. So the question you have to ask yourself is, do you want to pick the San Francisco 49ers, who have been uncharacteristically inconsistent, traveling west to east to play a Giants team that you can't even call them inconsistent. They've just been inept for most of the season. And yeah, I know they're missing Victor Cruz, and that's a big blow. And John Beeson got injured too, and blah blah blah. Whatever. Every team. Prince Amukamara now is out, tore his bicep. The bottom line is that the 49ers have been dealing with suspensions and injuries as much as anybody else has. And I believe this week they're getting back Aldon Smith. Is that right?
I believe that is correct. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't usually like West Coast teams traveling west to east, but the Giants are, I think, just that bad. I'm going to pick the 49ers in this.
And I think that's the way to go, Keith. I mean, to me, the bottom line is this. The Giants are one of the worst defenses in the league, ranked number 5, giving up 27.4 points per game. That is just unexcusable. And the fact that they've lost Prince Amukamara absolutely makes the 49ers passing game open up. So you're going to like Colin Kaepernick this week. You're going to like Michael Crabtree this week. And then let's talk about the Giants defense. It's given up 13 rushing touchdowns to date. That is absolutely ridiculous. And because of that, I like Frank Gore this week as an RB2. I think if you got him, you got to play him. There's no reason not to. For the Giants, Odell Beckham Jr., just start the guy. There's absolutely no reason to think twice anymore. You start him, you start Larry Donnell. The 49ers defense is a good play because, much like our good friend Jay Cutler, Eli Manning can implode from time to time and give us sort of his Jekyll and Hyde impersonation. And a potential bust this week is Rashad Jennings, and there's 2 reasons for that. The first one, he's coming back from injury, so he'll probably be a slow start. But then you got a 49ers team that gives up just about 90 yards rushing per game and only 5 rushing TDs to date. 49ers on the road, Keith. Striking gold.
There's the old Jim. There's the Jim we all know and love with your
There it is. Wait, let me rephrase it. The 49ers strike gold in the Big Apple.
Witty little repartee. Denver Broncos travel to the St. Louis Rams. There's not a team that I feel worse for than the St. Louis Rams, because as bad as a 3-6 record is, they should not be 3-6. They should be so much worse than that. But give them credit; they have fought through all of the injuries and all of the question marks and all the naysayers, and they have played some pretty good football. Last week they lost to the Rams 31-14. Or I'm sorry, the Cardinals. Lost to the Cardinals 31-14. 21 fourth-quarter points for the Cardinals. So, yeah, again, a game that they were in it, were leading, and just couldn't hold on, just ran out of gas for various reasons. Kind of the opposite situation happened to the Broncos last week. Peyton Manning was picked off twice early by the Oakland Raiders, and it was enough to – I was having actually a family get-together at my house where I started to look around at people in the room and be like, are they going to do this? Are the Raiders really going to do this? Yeah, well, then reality set in, and Broncos ended up winning 41-17. Look, the Rams are a nice story. They will probably play them tough. There is no way you pick against the Denver Broncos in this game. There just isn't, and I won't. Denver to win.
Denver Broncos spank the Rams, Keith. I cannot see how this team, especially with their defense, is going to stop such an enigmatic, all-powerful Broncos offense as we have seen play so far this season. You're going to have to obviously play Peyton Manning, Emmanuel Sanders, the Thomases. That's all good. But the one running back you absolutely must play this week, and if he's still on your waivers, you should consider picking him up and getting him in there if you need help at an RB2, and that's C.J. Anderson. Last week, I know they played the Raiders, and he put up 163 all-purpose yards and a score. He's not going to do that again this week, but because – I mean, Monty Ball's coming back, but the problem is Monty Ball has never had that good of a game like C.J. Anderson did last week, so they're going to start him. They're going to feed him the ball as much as it takes. The only way Monty Ball sees the gridiron is to spell him, or C.J. Anderson gets hurt, or he falls on his face in the first half of the game and runs for only 30 yards. That's just hard to believe, though. How can't he against the Rams defense? Not possible. Not possible. For the Rams, the only player you can really like is Trey Mason. And that's even a tough call because this Broncos defense, most teams don't run against them. They don't have time to run against them. So it's, you flex him and you hope he gets you some catches and some runs before they just turn to the pass for the entire game. The Rams are turning back to Shaun Hill, and that along with other reasons, means that the Broncos are a must-start. In fact, the Broncos are the number one defensive start this week. Check out our player rankings at thefantasygreek.com. They're up. And they're there for quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, kickers, and defense special teams. Broncos buck up the Rams.
How did the Broncos buck up?
I don't know. They just buck them up, man.
Bucking Bronco? Sorry.
I don't know. It just sounds good.
You said Buck, and I thought Tampa Bay, and that screwed me up for a minute there.
Oh, well, I didn't consider that.
Yeah, I got it now, though. We're good. We're all good. Speaking of bucking up, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers travel to the Washington Redskins, the 1-8 Buccaneers, and the 3-6 Redskins. Robert Griffin III came back against the Vikings last week, 18 of 28, 251. And a touchdown. Say what you want. The guy was out for an awful long time. I'll take that if I'm a Redskins fan coming back. The problem was that the Vikings put up 29 points. 29 points. Teddy Bridgewater threw 42 times and ended up winning. I don't think you want Teddy Bridgewater throwing that much. But we'll get to that when we talk about or we already did talk about the Vikings. Tampa Bay, there is nothing to speak of here. There really isn't. They are so bad they've gone back to Josh McCown as the starting quarterback. Although he did throw for 301 yards and 2 touchdowns, but it was largely meaningless as the Falcons just had enough to outlast. Matt Ryan, 20 of 31 for 219 yards and a touchdown. Julio Jones catching 8 balls, 119 yards. Steven Jackson with 81 rushing yards and a touchdown. There's nothing that the Buccaneers do good. And the Redskins, pretty much all they do is pass, and they have a pretty good defense. Their rushing yards per game are ranked 16th. They're middle of the road. They're 18th in scoring, 22nd in scoring defense. Picking this game is literally like trying to pick which puddle of vomit to lick. But I am going to pick the home team just because why not?
You know, I like your analogies, and I like the things that you had to say. I'm going to take the Redskins too. It's really, you know what, look, you're not going to win football games when your defense gives up an average of 30 points per game, second worst in the league, and you're not going to win football games when your average score is roughly 19 points per game, period. You've given up, and when we're talking about the Bucs here, they've given up 27 total TDs, and that's before any special teams or defensive TDs, and that is just terrible. So you're looking at this and you're saying, hey, Redskins, who you got to play this week? Alfred Morris, a high RB2 this week. Deshaun Jackson, wide receiver 1 this week. Pierre Garçon, wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3. Jordan Reed, tight end 1. Robert Griffin III, borderline QB1. He is one of these players you can plug and play this week, and this will probably be his best game of the season or one of the better games of the season. For the Buccaneers, Mike Evans, in the last 3 games, 327 yards and 3 TDs. You can't ask more than that from a veteran. You start the rookie. Bobby Rainey makes for a flex at best this week. This is a much tougher Redskins defense than most people would like to give him credit for, and that includes the run. Djax, wide receiver 3 at best. I even like the Redskins defense as a low DST1 because, again, you put him up against a quarterback that can struggle, and that's a defense you can start this week. Redskins win in our nation's capital, Keith. All hail.
Jeez. It makes me want to. I feel like I should have some kind of like patriotic music queued up.
We do have to work on that kind of stuff, I was thinking.
Yeah. So this is all I got right now.
Oh my God! I feel I was show and tell kindergarten class.
But you're not allowed in your schools, right?
Oh, that was that was uncalled for.
Of course, I'm kidding, folks. It's all in good humor. All in good humor.
That's bad, dude.
Oh, okay, maybe it was bad humor, but okay. Oh, the Oakland Raiders traveled.
I can't believe man, you are getting a lump of coal for Christmas. That's terrible.
Again, so many jokes, so little time. Oakland Raiders travel to the San Diego Chargers. The Chargers, like the Bengals, have faded hard after their bye week, and to the tune of getting shut out back on November 2nd, 37-0. Nothing. You lose. You get nothing. So, that being said, the Raiders, I said it before. Derek Carr is the future. He'll be fine. This team just does not have enough. I think the Chargers, coming off a bye, they should be operating on all cylinders. There's no way I'm picking against the Chargers here at home.
Yeah, it's hard to like anybody on the Raiders this week. Even Michael Rivera, who has just been a pleasant surprise the last couple weeks at tight end, this is not a good matchup. It's definitely one of these weeks that if you picked him up as recommended, you're going to have to sit him at least this week. Derek Carr, like you mentioned, he's an option if you're looking for a second quarterback, or for some reason, you really did poorly drafting quarterbacks and you need somebody. I guess you could plug him in. Outside of that, man, it is really tough to find a Raider in fantasy football to play. For the Chargers, on the other hand, regardless of what happened the last time they played before their bye week, you start Phillip Rivers. You treat him like a top five quarterback unless that happens again. We don't expect it to happen again. Ryan Matthews gets back on the gridiron. He is reportedly going to get 15 touches. I like him as a borderline RB1. I like him to press for 100 yards rushing and a score. Keenan Allen, wide receiver 2. Antonio Gates must start. Chargers defense, low DST1. Chargers win. Chargers win. Chargers win.
I should have had the Beastie Boys queued up with electrify for the Chargers. But,
wow. Yeah, that would have been cool.
But no, I didn't. Again, one more time.